Chinese trade surplus, $82.6 billion trade surplus coming out of China. That has to bode well for China at a time when I was under the impression their economy was somewhat maybe on the brink.
Exactly, Grant. Today, China's economy has facing huge challenges after the COVID pandemic. Obviously, if you look at the housing market is one of the important signals for everybody to understand where China's economy stands. You look at the major cities in China, Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, all these economic cities, they're selling out the top luxury mansions, and people are trying to transfer their assets into foreign currencies. Every single, post, if you look at the housing market, the price has been ripped off half again and again, and people are trying to sell their assets. This is what the real economic that China is facing right now. But in terms of, the surplus of the trading, it was one of the common strategy that the CCP had always been using, right? When Yellen visited China, she had made very clear that United States already observed dumping policies that interfered with the economy in the United States. And today, CCP remained the same. My guess was, if they do not continue to produce such surplus, it will cause huge financial crisis in the factories and in all of trades internally in China as well.
All right. So I was looking at some of the numbers. Appliances up 18%. This is exporting them, not selling them inside China. And then there's a tremendous push by Xi Jinping to build more factories in China. This is underway, but all for exports. And I'm looking at this, and then I see the other quiet number that consumer spending, meaning the amount of dollars the citizens are spending in their own cities and towns, is way off in China. So there's very little consumer spending as Xi Jinping exports all this stuff out. To me, on the surface, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I take away the prospect that the rich then, the CCP party members in China, were probably getting rich off of all these exports while the actual people in China suffer.
Exactly, Grant. You look at, even with people who actually worked for the government, right? People who have been, registered with the government as an employee of any, State Department offices in China, that their salary has been cut off since COVID pandemic, and many, teachers in the schools, there has been a delay in delivering their salaries to the towns. I'll give you, several numbers. Like in some of the towns, that even a bank started to lend money from a bigger bank because they were owing, monies to, to people who actually deposit. And so we have now facing probably one of the largest financial crises in China, within China. And now that Xi was still continue to using the surplus and the dumping policies and to try to maintain the fake image of China's prosperity. And obviously, you already tell where the problem is through the numbers that you just gave.